Good evening, it's Planning Commission, City of Lockport, for April 14th. Would everyone please rise for pledge of flag? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kathy, would you do the roll call, please?
You got it. Shepherd. Shepherd is absent. Likens.
on.
Is he on?
He's on. He's bottom of the screen.
Okay, we see him. Can't hear him, but we see him. Likens.
He's there.
Likens.
Scott, can you hear us?
They're all muted. Can we unmute them?
Hey, Jeff, can you?
We're getting it, hold on.
One moment, please.
Ken says here.
Perfect. Hey, Ken. Scott Likens.
I'm here.
Porfirio. Porfirio? Okay, Oxley.
Yes.
Maloney.
Yes, here.
Pinn.
Here.
And Wheeler. We have a quorum.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve the minutes from the, should be the February 11th meeting.
March
March 10th.
10th.
So moved. Second.
I got the wrong,
Yeah, Chairman Oxley, before you get to approving the minutes, you need to approve the temporary rules to conduct the meeting.
okay.
So if I may, I will outline the reasons why we need to approve the temporary rules.
Please do,
Unlike the
Sonny.
city
Thank you.
council that passed rules allowing for remote participation of a meeting, this zoning commission has not done so already. So regardless of the fact that our governor has passed executive order suspending the physical requirement to participate in an open meeting, there was no such rules for the commission to allow the remote participation. So therefore, these temporary rules, as allowed by section 156.163, subsection 7 of the Code of the Zoning Ordinance, allows the zoning body to pass its own rules regarding the procedure and the conduct of this meeting. And this will allow the remote participation, and that this suspends any requirement that their quorum has to be physically present. So without any, unless there's any further questions, I request the motion and a second and a vote to be approved for the temporary rules for conduct of the meeting for Planning and Zoning Commission.
I'll make a motion to pass the temporary rules for the conduct of the Planning and Zoning Commission. This is Likens.
We have a motion by Likens. Do we have a second?
In seconds.
Second by Shepherd,
Pinn. Will Pinn.
or Pinn, I'm sorry. Roll call. Sonny, do we need a roll call vote on that, or simple?
A roll call vote, please.
Okay, Shepherd.
Yes.
Likens.
Yes.
Porfirio is absent. Oxley.
Yes.
Maloney.
Yes,
Pinn.
Yes.
Wheeler. Wheeler.
She just went offline. She went offline.
Wheeler.
Finally in.
Porfirio said.
I miss.
Oh, and Porfirio, okay, I don't know what to do there.
Yeah, there's a, record will reflect that Commissioner Portfolio has arrived and can still vote on that motion to approve the temporary rules for conduct of the meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Okay, yes.
Okay. Okay. And Wheeler is unavailable, so we do have a quorum, so we'll move forward.
Yeah, the motion passes, and therefore now the commission can go and approve the meeting minutes from last month's meeting and then conduct the public hearing.
Thank you, Sonny. Do we have a motion to approve the March 10th Planning Commission zoning hearing minutes, please?
So moved by Likens.
Moved by Lykin, second by
I'll second.
Porfinio. Any questions, comments, discussion?
I had one comment. On the last page, on page 10, it doesn't say who made the motion to approve.
Page 10.
It
This motion made by seconded by.
Motion made by, seconded by, okay. I was not here, Chairman Maloney at the time. Do you remember who made the motion?
It was pretty chaotic at the time with everybody getting up and yelling. I didn't catch it.
As I recall, I think I made the original motion for the last case. It needs
I
to
have
be
the written
added to
notes, I can go back.
Okay, Kathy can check the written notes and change, and put that in as a notation.
Yes,
She has them, she'll have to go back in her file.
yeah.
Thank you, Brent, for bringing that to our attention.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor, roll call, please.
Shepherd,
Yes.
Likens,
Yes.
Porfilio,
Yes.
Oxley,
Yes.
Maloney,
Yes,
Pin,
Yes.
and Wheeler.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Okay, now we have a public hearing. We have a motion to open the public hearing.
so moved.
Moved by Maloney, second by
Likens, yes.
Likens. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. The ayes have it. Kimberly, we'll turn it over to you.
Okay, Chairman. Bear with me, everyone. Good evening.
Hello?
Hello. The next case before you this evening is case number 2019-015. The applicant, Michael Lanios, on behalf of U.S. Tennis Court Construction Company, is seeking approval of a special use permit for a contractor shop with outdoor storage within the M1 Limited Manufacturing District and preliminary and final development plans in one step for a new 12,960 square foot building for the property generally located at the southwest corner of Canal Street and Industrial Drive. The subject property is comprised of 1.6 acres and is zoned M1 Limited Manufacturing. A contractor's shop is classified as a permitted use in the M1 Manufacturing District. However, outdoor storage is classified as a special use within the district. This special use is needed to store contractors' vehicles, typically vans, outdoors on the lot. A special use is subject to a public hearing with public notice. The petitioner submitted certification that they complied with the notification for the public hearing as required by city's code. A special use permit shall be granted only if evidence is presented to establish the following standards. A, the proposed building or use is necessary or desirable to provide a service or facility which is in the interest of the public and will contribute to the general welfare of the neighborhood or community. Staff finds that the business is currently operating on the adjacent property to the north of the subject property. The existing business has outgrown the current space, and the applicant desires to build a larger facility and remain in the city of Lockport. The applicant will build a new facility where he can continue to provide a unique service to schools and other organizations as he provides the spray coating that is used for school basketball and tennis courts. B, the proposed building or use will not have a substantial adverse effect upon the adjacent property, the character of the neighborhood, traffic conditions, utility facilities, and other matters affecting the public health, safety, and general welfare. Staff finds that the proposed contractor shop with outdoor storage will not have adverse effect upon the adjacent properties or character of the neighborhood. The business will be appropriately located within the M1 district. Additionally, the applicant is providing adequate screening, landscaping, and meeting required architectural design standards. And lastly, C, The proposed building or use will be designed, arranged, and operated so as to permit the development and use of the neighboring property in accordance with applicable district regulations. Staff finds that the proposed development will not hinder new business or new development within the surrounding M1 district. This small-scale contractor's business is a low-intensity operation. And before you displayed is the site plan. Final development plan review is requested for the new development. A final site plan was submitted and is in substantial compliance with the bulk regulations. The plan shows that the two parcels will be consolidated into a single lot to accommodate the new 12,960 square foot brick building, which includes 3,068 square foot of office space and 9,892 square feet of industrial space. The proposed building has office space located on the east side of the building and contractor shop on the west. Office employees will use the east parking lot and contractors will use the west parking lot. There are 3 access points into the property. Primary access comes from Canal Street, with 2 additional access points coming from Industrial Drive and Davie Street. All driveways can accommodate 2-way traffic. A public sidewalk will not be provided. This is consistent with the surrounding area. Parking and loading. Adequate parking has been provided. Loading will take place on the west elevation as there are 4 overhead doors and 1 recessed loading dock. I'm gonna switch to the elevation slide to show you the elevation with the loading area. Parking spaces provided on the west elevation are intended for contractors' vans for overnight storage. The final elevation is displayed for you. Elevations were provided and are in conformance with the city's design standards. The building is comprised of split-face brick and a precast concrete block. Horizontal color banding with vertical projection is provided on all elevations. Window systems are provided on each elevation with additional windows located at the main entrance and office area. A solid wood fence will enclose the storage area. The trash containers will be enclosed within the screened parking lot. And mechanical equipment is not shown, however, will need to be screened appropriately. And a final landscape plan is displayed before you. The final landscape plan was provided and is in conformance with the landscape ordinance. All landscape requirements have been addressed, and a nice mix of trees, shrubs, and perennials has been provided. A photometric plan was submitted and is in conformance with city code. All fixtures are downward lit with full cutoff. And signage. I'm gonna revert back to the elevation. The lowest elevation is it's the east elevation there. I don't know if you can see it. It has an image of a wall sign that's illustrated. The details were not included, however, it appears to be within the size criteria for the city sign code. All signage will require a separate sign permit. Engineering review was completed. Engineering plans are in conformance with city code. And the fire district and building inspector reviewed the plans as well. The Lockport Fire Protection District has no comments at this time. And the city's building inspector has no comments as well at this time. Should the commission find the proposed development acceptable, a motion is to adopt the finding of facts as contained in staff's report and find sufficient evidence was presented to approve the special use permit for a contractor shop with outdoor storage, and a motion to approve preliminary final development plans for a 12,960 square foot office industrial building, subject to the following conditions. 1, separate sign permit will need to be completed for all proposed signage. 2, mechanical equipment will need to be screened. And 3, inspection fees and financial guarantees shall be provided as noted per engineering review memo number 3 dated April 1st, 2020. This concludes staff's analysis, and I do want to let you know that the applicant is here this evening for questions or comments.
Thank you, Kimberly. Is there anyone here from the public that wishes to speak? Hearing none. Commissioners, anyone have any comments, questions?
Everything looks good to me.
Pardon me, Brent?
For once, I'm speechless.
What's that? Please speak up.
Said for once he's speechless.
That's something new. Any comments or questions?
That's a good site down there on Canal Road. I'm glad somebody's gonna use that and build on it.
Very nice to see that built in, yes, yes. Bill?
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment. I have with me this evening the downtown master plan that is currently in effect. It dates from February 2009, but it hasn't been replaced with a newer edition or revoked or anything. The area in question is identified as the West Side Development District 6, and it recommends that a whole entire area be rezoned R2 or R3 as residential. Farther back, it states change zoning of the west side from M1 limited manufacturing to R3 multiple family south and R2 single family north to encourage residential development in the plan. It also states that the city should encourage existing businesses in the west side district to locate to new locations in the Texaco Chevron site now being marketed as the Star Business Park. For the most part, this master plan has pretty much been followed by the city since it was implemented back in 2009. Everything that's happened in downtown, but the thing is, what's being proposed here this evening completely ignores the downtown master plan that is currently in effect. So I kind of have a problem with that.
Well, Bill, I understand that, but this industrial park's been there since the early 80s, if not the late 70s. It's 3/4 of the way built out, and I don't see anybody stepping forward to buy all the buildings and property there, to remove all the buildings and put residential there. Because it was in a floodplain, and then it was removed after the Chevron stuff and stuff like that. So I think that plan sometimes doesn't meet where we're at as will be. I mean, if you remember the 159th Street corridor plan, they wanted to turn the Kmart building parallel with 159th Street.
Well, if the city council chooses to ignore the current existing master plan, so be it. I just wanted to...
Actually, if I may interrupt, I think there's like an echo or garbling or some sound impact that causes the rest of us to not be able to hear fully and understand fully what Commissioner Maloney has to state. So if he could either go to the podium and, kind of reiterate his concerns.
Okay, I'll have Bill step to the podium. Thank you, Sonny.
Yeah.
We'll step up to the podium.
All right, no, we're not.
Unmuted these microphones here. I don't know if there's any microphones that need to be muted. These were all,
We shut all these off here.
these were all open here.
Yeah, Bill's gonna go to the podium.
There were 4 microphones open, Sunny. Hopefully that helps.
You'll need to speak into this microphone here.
Okay, thank you. I realize this is a rather awkward arrangement. What I was making reference to is the downtown master plan dating from February 2009 that is currently in effect, that hasn't been superseded by a newer plan or hasn't been revoked by the city council, so as I see it, it's still in effect. It refers to the West Side Development District and recommends that it be done entirely R2 and R3. Further, it recommends change zoning from the west side from M1 limited manufacturing to R3 multiple family residential south and R2 single family north to encourage residential development as shown in the plan. Further, it states that the city should encourage existing businesses in the west side district to relocate to new locations in the Texaco Chevron site, which is now being marketed as the Star Business Park. Up until now, the city pretty much is, everything that's been done in the downtown area in the last 10, 11 years has been consistent with the downtown master plan, so I don't quite understand why we're choosing to ignore the master plan entirely with this proposal.
Commissioner Maloney.
Is this property zoned M1 already though, Bill?
That's never been done, it's never been
Yes, it
changed.
is. It is
It's
M1.
still, it has been M1 at the time this was written.
Yeah, so Commissioner Maloney, as,
Saying that the properties around it, Bill, should be R1 for the study? You were saying?
Here's the whole
It's in
study
an-
right here. Shows it being all our residential all along Canal Street from 159th all the way over, from 9th Street all the way over to Division Street.
I don't know if everybody can hear me or not, if you just shake your head up and down. Okay. Commissioner Maloney, as someone who's involved in creating that master plan, that is certainly an aspirational idea for the west side. It is entirely contingent on all of the existing manufacturing users agreeing to relocate there. One of the users at the time that we were trying to discuss that with was Grafe. They were a big part of that discussion. They have chosen, as you well know, to not relocate anywhere but there, and in fact expanded their operation to include their additional new parking lot down in that area. Because the property is already zoned for this use, and this isn't asking for a rezoning or a special use, it's difficult to not allow somebody to do this by right. I 100% agree with you that I wish that the west side could be developed into multi-story residential, but it's really contingent on those property owners being willing to relocate to a different location.
Well taken. The thing is, when this was done back 2009, 4 of us here present this evening were involved with it on the planning commission. The city council has had a complete turnover since then, so I just want to put it on the record that this is inconsistent with the downtown master plan that is currently in effect. The city council can do whatever they want to do. I just wanted on the record that this is not consistent with the downtown master plan as currently in effect.
Yep, I appreciate that.
Thank you, Bill. Okay,
Was this property supposed to be rezoned per that study, Lance? Is that what Bill was saying?
So, the study,
Echo, is there another mic you could talk into? I can't hear you, I can barely hear you.
Yeah, I think Lance, if you could go back to where Kimberly was sitting. Yes, thank you.
so the property in this area, the original idea was that the entire west side, or for the majority of it, would be turned into higher density residential. And at that time, all of the zoning that is currently there was also existing as well. And following the study, a number of conversations were had with some of the manufacturing users that are on that side of the canal. In fact, I'm sure that probably U.S. Tennis Courts was probably one of those conversations back at that time. Many of them were not really interested in relocating out of the area, therefore opening up the opportunity for somebody else to buy that property and rezone it to accommodate the residential. And so, pretty much everybody has chosen to keep their existing zoning, build it out as it was originally intended back in the 80s or so, when it was originally designed as an industrial park. If I was alive and here back in the 80s, I probably would have recommended something else occur on that side, but we kind of unfortunately are where we are, and these users on this side have every right to be able to develop something like this proposal in that location. For good or bad, they're certainly a great tenant that has been on the west side for a number of years, and so we certainly appreciate their interest in investing or continuing to invest in the community and making improvements like what we see right now. But I certainly recognize from a planning standpoint that it would have been great, and I know that Mayor Stride has also talked with many of those manufacturing users over on that side as well, even in recent years, about their interest in relocating, and none of them have expressed interest in doing so. So that's kind of the background on that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the commissioners?
If I may address the legal aspect of a comprehensive plan. It's an advisory plan. This isn't a rezoning application. This is a special use in an already zoned location. So as far as if this was a rezoning and it was in contrast to what the comprehensive plan would have recommended, that's one thing, but this is actually not a rezoning, it's a special use for the currently zoned area. I mean, obviously, any comprehensive plan needs to be re-looked at, and there are things that what was projected back 10 years ago differs based upon the economic situation, the current businesses located around it, and the current uses around it. So based upon those factors, what was brought up regarding the comprehensive plan, again, is for advisory only, it's not a binding mandate that will prohibit the commissioners from voting on this matter.
Thank you, Sonny. Would the petitioner please come forward? Do you have anything you'd like to say or to the podium? Any comments from any other commissioners? First, we have to swear you in. Stand for it.
You guys see me? Yep. Hello,
You're
everyone.
up.
My name is Mike Lanios. I'm the owner of U.S. Tennis Court Construction, and it,
Mike,
Yeah.
hold your right hand, please.
Sure.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Michael Lanios. I live at 19960 Berkshire Drive in Mokina, and I'm the owner of U.S. Tennis Court Construction.
Okay, thank you. There we go. Okay. Any comments you have?
No, I just appreciate you guys taking the time to review my case for developing this property, and we really look forward to building there. Our company is growing and expanding, and we'd like to build a nice building in the community here.
It's great to hear. It's a nice project, nicely designed, and fits well with the area. We appreciate that much. I have a question for the engineers. Have you both reviewed all your stuff here and everything's good on this?
Chairman, obviously, there's still like echo or gurgling of your mic, so I don't know if it's that room may be cursed.
I don't know what you did to the room, Sonny, but yes, I think you're right. This, for engineering, is there any questions on engineering? You both reviewed everything and are happy with everything here?
Yeah, everything's been reviewed. It took about 3 or 4 different revisions to get through, but we got through everything, and they've agreed to address everything that we had comments on.
Okay. Phil, do you have any comments?
No comments at this time. They took care of everything that we asked them to.
Good, thank you. Commissioners, anyone have any other comments? Okay, I'll accept a motion to close the public hearing then.
So moved. Likens.
Moved by Likens,
Second.
second by Porfinio. Roll call vote, please.
You got it. Shepherd.
Yes.
Likens.
Yes.
Porfilio.
Yes.
Oxley.
Yes.
Maloney.
No.
Pin.
Yes.
And Wheeler.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay.
Just for the record, that was a motion to close the.
Yes, Sonny, you're correct. Okay, do I have a motion on this project?
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve the special use permit for contractor's shop with outdoor storage.
Moved by Porfinio.
If I could clarify the motion for you, for the commissioners, it would be a motion to adopt the finding of facts as contained in the staff's report and approve and find that the sufficient evidence was presented to prove the special use for contractor shop with the outdoor storage as outlined and discussed at tonight's meeting.
Okay, so moved.
Well said, Sonny.
Seconded.
Well said.
And seconded by who? Who seconded that? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Pin. Okay. Do we have a roll call? Any questions or comments? Roll call vote, please.
Got it. Shepherd.
Yes.
Likens.
Yes.
Portillo.
Yes.
Oxley.
Yes.
Maloney.
No.
Kim.
Yes.
And Wheeler.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you very much. Now, once again, some of the stuff that we come up with in our code, we have an M1 industrial zoning, we have to get a special use permit for outside storage. That's something we need to look at in the future, I think. I don't know. Will, I see you shaking your head there. What do you,
I agree with you.
yeah. Okay.
What's the reasoning behind that in an M1 district, why they don't like storage, outdoor storage? Originally, what was the thought behind that, why they don't like it? Why it's a special use?
I don't know, Brenda, just like an end cap or a bank building or an end cap in a shopping mall needing a special use for a drive-through, like a Dairy Queen or Dunkin' Donuts. That's always baffled me, or a bank needing a special use. I mean, if it's a bank, you know they're gonna have drive-through. McDonald's got 90% of their business in a drive-through. We'll have Lance give us something on that next month. He says he'd be happy to get that for us.
Okay, how complicated is the second motion, Ms. Attorney?
That's actually a very simple motion. It would be a motion to approve the preliminary final development plan for the 12,960 square feet office industrial building, subject to the conditions, the three conditions as outlined in the staff's memo.
Okay, so moved.
Moved by Perfino, second by
Likens.
Likens. Any questions or comments? Roll call vote, please.
Got it. Shepherd.
Yes.
Likens.
Yes.
Portillo.
Yes.
Oxley.
Yes.
Maloney.
No.
Kim.
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, thank you very much. This will go before City Council on May 6th. Okay. Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. Okay, any new business anyone would like to mention or bring up?
Are we going to follow this format in the foreseeable future until the shelter in place is lifted?
Yes, until, and actually the motion, the temporary rule is for until the extent of the governor's executive order. So currently is to expire end of this month. And if there was any extension, the governor would have to declare another state of emergency.
Yeah, it's worked out pretty good.
Thank you, Sonny. Any old business anyone would like to conduct or speak about? Citizens be heard, there is no one present, so that's obvious. Chairman's report, I got nothing. Commissioner's report, anybody have anything? Staff report, Kimberly's been talking most of the night here. She says she's got nothing. And a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by
Likens.
Likens,
Second. Shepherd.
second by Shepherd. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you very much for your help. Stay healthy.
Good night.
Nice job, everybody. Good job.
Good job, Lance. That is low.
Really